You're listening to Soap Dirt, the latest in television entertainment news.
Hey there, Days of Our Lives fans. It is Belinda from Soap Dirt, and I've got your weekly Days of Our Lives prediction edition. These are predictions for the current storylines. They are all rooted in official NBC soap spoilers. We've got predictions for Shawn and Chloe and Xander, Chloe and Sarah, Abe and Paulina, Gwen and her two guys, and more. If you haven't already, please reach down, click subscribe so you don't miss any of our day's updates. And now let's dive right in. Our first prediction is that Shawn blames himself for Victor's death. And here's why. So there is a spoiler the week of August 21st about Shawn taking the burden of Victor's death onto himself. And so our prediction is not that he's blaming himself, but why he's doing it, why we think that he thinks this. So Shawn is tormenting himself. He has been hitting the bottle, and we know that's not a good thing with the family's addiction issues. And of course, all of his guilt and angst that's driving him to drink is about him shooting his dad, Bo Brady. But, you know, nobody else in Salem seems to blame Shawn because, you know, Bo was out of his mind. He was holding a gun on Hope. Shawn thought he was about to shoot her. So, you know, how do you get from that to this guilt over Victor's plane crash? So here's why. Victor's plane is coming from Greece back to Salem, and Victor probably wouldn't be in Greece if not for him, if not for Shawn shooting Bo and Vic going to visit his comatose son. It is a little stretch for Shawn to think that this plane crash was his fault because Victor's on his private plane probably all the time, or whatever kind of plane it is. But Shawn definitely feels determined to take all the guilt for everything going on onto himself, and this will not be a good thing. Our number 2 prediction is that Chloe says yes to Xander's proposal. So next week, Brady and Chloe continue the chat that started on Friday at her apartment she shares with Xander, but I think she is going to reject the kiss that he started for a lot of reasons. She cares for Xander, and she doesn't like Brady's jealous antics, and there's still the Rachel Black problem, which was the reason that she dumped Brady to start with. By the end of the week, Brady and Xander are fighting, and I'm sure it's over Chloe, and, you know, Brady probably tells her he kissed her just to aggravate him, and there's actually a brawl between the guys at the offices of The Spectator, but then Victor's plane going down could change everything. In the latest promo, there's actually a picture. It looks like Xander and Brady might be hugging. Xander's hugging someone who looks from the back a lot like Brady to me. So Chloe just defended her relationship with Xander to Belle when they got in that little verbal fight recently. And next week, official spoilers say that Xander presses Chloe to say yes to his proposal. You know, you probably all know this. I'm sure everyone has had a death in the family or death of someone they loved. But after a death or some kind of tragedy, people always do stuff that is life affirming. They make babies, they make love, they make wedding plans. And so maybe Chloe will cheer up grieving Xander and say yes, and let him slide that ring on her finger. All right, our third prediction is that Abe Carver is going to scheme to take back the mayor's spot by targeting Clint, who is the fill-in mayor. And I know this, you know, this prediction is weird, and there are some official spoilers under it. It just seems bizarre that somebody with amnesia could hold public office. I know that we have a lot of politicians in our country that are extremely old and probably don't have all their faculties. But in Salem in particular, amnesia does not seem to be an issue for being mayor. Right now, Paulina wants Abe back in power so that he can help Chanel. This is all about, you know, what she wants. And we know that Paulina is a top tier schemer. She is very good at this. And I predict that they are going to go all out to oust the temporary mayor and get Abe back in power despite his mental malady. And I predict they might actually pull it off. And here's why. I have 2 words for you. Jack Devereaux. Do you remember when Jack Devereaux came back from the dead with amnesia in town with Eve Donovan several years back? Do you remember he ran for and won the mayor race against Abe, calling himself the clean slate candidate? They literally were admitting that he had amnesia, and they managed to make it a selling point. So really, there's no reason that Salemites wouldn't go for it again with Abe, right? They could just call him clean slate candidate Part 2. So we shall see. All right, our 4th prediction is that Gwen Rizchek puts on blinders and just blunders on with her messy marriage. Official spoilers say that the honeymoon is not all wine and roses, and that is Tuesday, August 18th. Something happens. And then or is that Thursday? Nope, that's Friday. I can't read my own handwriting. Then on August 16th, we have Gwen finding out something while on her honeymoon. I think it's going to be that Leo is also in Iceland. And I predict that Dimitri von Leuschner, I'm going to call him DVL from here on out because that's too much of a name. I predict that DVL and Leo are going to do more lying, like when she walked in on them undressed, and they're going to say that DVL bought Leo a ticket as a surprise for Gwen so that her bucket list trip could be shared with her BFF. Doesn't that sound like such a nice thing for her husband to do? So if you look at the repeat DVL and Leo incidences, Gwenny should start getting a clue by now, right? But I predict that she is going to just swallow those lies, hope for the best, and keep moving forward with blinders on. However, by the week of August 21st, Gwen walks in on 2 people having nookie. I expect that it's probably her cheating husband with her best friend doing the lady whistleblower deed. All right, we have one last prediction for you for Days of Our Lives. If you haven't already, though, please reach down, click that subscribe button so you don't miss any of our day's updates. If you're enjoying these predictions, we'd love a like. Give us that thumbs up. And definitely drop your comments on where you'd like to see these storylines go. I love reading your comments, and we appreciate you listening. All right, our 5th and final prediction is that Chloe Lane is going to figure out Sarah's big baby lie. So this is for action happening the week of August 21st. Xander Cook is going to run into Sarah Horton and her big old baby bump. And by then, Xander might be engaged. You never know. If our other Xander prediction proves true, then he might be an engaged man by then. But Sarah is going to lie right to Xander's face, according to official spoilers. She's going to tell him that it is Rex Brady's baby and that they're back together. And I think Xander is going to be, distracted, thinking about the stuff going on with Victor, blinded by grief, distracted by his love for Chloe and this whole, engagement conversation, that I think he literally just does not do the math. And it's just math that he needs to do. But Chloe, who was worried that this marriage proposal was about Gwen or Sarah, won't be so naive. As a woman, she will automatically be doing the math, counting the months from when she knows Xander and Sarah broke up to right now. She's going to count up those months, and then she's going to compare it to the size of Sarah's baby bump. Probably most men do not know at a glance how far along a woman is who's pregnant, but a woman who has had a baby has a good idea of what a bump looks like. You have an idea of, okay, that's a first trimester, barely there bump. You got the mid-range second trimester bump, and then you've got the I have no lap anymore third trimester bump. I don't think men notice that, just like they don't notice shoes and haircuts, but women, we notice that stuff. I think Chloe may easily realize that Sarah is carrying Xander's baby, but the big question will be then, is she going to keep it to herself, or will she drop this truth bomb on Xander? And it will be especially interesting and complicated if she has agreed to marry him by then. Thanks for listening, guys. We hope you enjoyed these Days of Our Lives predictions.
Thank you for being a loyal listener. Follow us wherever you get your podcast, because you don't want to miss the next episode. Soap Dirt is on all the major podcast platforms, including Apple Podcast, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and more.